Here's a summary of the hardest things I've experienced so far about being homeless and depressed. And just to note, I am drug free, no disabilities. Yeah, just, I guess, what you would call a normal person or someone who's relatively put together, right? Okay, so one, realizing, coming to the realization how few resources there actually are to help. Most, like nonprofits and churches and shelters, claim they cannot help. Like when you call them, and I've called hundreds of numbers in Oklahoma and now Arizona. I've visited some of these places, all the things. So a lot of them only help certain demographics, or you have to meet certain criteria, like strict criteria, like you have to be homeless for a year, chronically homeless, for them to help you. Or if you have a dog like me, some places won't help you or let you stay if you have a pet. And I've had my dog for 12 years, since she was a puppy. So I'm not giving her up, Just certain things like this. A lot of these organizations, whatnot, will only help out now with like utility bills, so they won't help out with housing or, things that a homeless person would need. And really, I wrote down here, like, it feels to me as if these organizations, people, entities, they look for every possible reason not to help. Which is curious because, that's their business, right? So it's been very disheartening to see that and experience that. It makes me wonder if these organizations, churches, people, if they don't spend that money helping within the month or within that year, if they get that money themselves as a bonus or something, that would be something interesting to investigate. But yeah, and now I will also, I'll give them a little bit of an easy time. Some of these shelters and organizations, their budget is also tight. They depend on like government funding, and they're cut off because there's such a homeless crisis and poverty issue right now. Their funding goes like within the first week of each month. So that is the case for some, I will say. So number two, I want to hop over is this is probably the biggest one, people's programmed perceptions. People have certain programmed perceptions about the homeless and their fear of working with someone who's homeless. I've applied for many, many jobs during this period. Before I was technically homeless, and now as I've been homeless 5 weeks, right? It's been 5 weeks. And there's just a lot of people, businesses who don't want to work with you because they know that you don't have housing. In my case, I don't have a vehicle. I mean, I don't have anything. So they know that that's going to inhibit your grooming and, your presentation, and it's just going to affect your job performance. So, a lot of them won't do it. So, the psychological damage is really big. The psychological damage of this, which to me, a lot of these homeless cases, like my case, it is systemic oppression. So the psychological damage that comes from this is, depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, stemming from, again, the systemic abuse, rejection, devaluing, the dehumanization that goes on, the gaslighting from people that you experience, and, of course, your survival needs. My dog is moving around. Your survival needs, like food, being dangled in front of you, stuff like that. Also being ignored, and just treated like you're not a person. Okay, so, kind of summing it up, I might do individual videos. Let me know in the comments if you want me to focus on specific subjects, and I'll do, focus on specific subjects. I think that's kind of my goal moving forward, but I just wanted to do a summary video. So 3, moving on, this is the basics of being homeless and oppressed, trying to navigate and work out your survival and physical needs, right? So I've lived, when I first became homeless, I rented a rental car, and now my bank account, my main bank account is negative. I'm like negative $2,800 or something, so I'm technically broke, right? Then I rented and lived in a U-Haul cargo van for a little while, and y'all can go back and look at videos if you want to see proof of that or whatever, see my journey. And that was cold. I slept in a cargo van with my dog in single-digit degree weather, so freezing temperatures. I had a sleeping bag and everything that, we were able to survive the cold, but it was still very cold, and yeah. Of course, now, thanks to many of you friends and Star Souls here, y'all have donated, I was able to get myself a room here. So I'm in a hotel room. It's one of the cheapest hotel rooms you can get, but it's nice. It has everything I need for now. And I have it for a week. I have it until the 11th, February 11th. And then I have no idea what I'm going to do. But these are things, the housing that we think about, that we have to deal with. So, how do I also feed myself today? Because yes, I may have like the support of food benefits, but that's not enough money, especially with inflation prices and the price gouging. And I can't cook, I don't have a stovetop. I'm not in like one of those fancy extended stay hotels. So, I can't cook for myself. I can't buy like the cheaper like beans, dried beans, or, meat, packaged meat. Like I can't do that stuff. And again, inflation prices. So like my food benefits, that assistance goes away within like 2-3 weeks. And then I'm struggling for 1 to 2 weeks. So, where do I sleep? So especially whenever, like, it's hard to figure out where to sleep, especially, if you want to avoid harassment from the cops and whatnot. It's just crazy whenever you really think about it. It's like, why am I being harassed whenever I'm just trying to sleep somewhere on land that God gave us, the land, like, we're all born on the earth. We should all be entitled to land, really. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But, trying to figure out those spots. So especially if you are homeless, living out of your car, vehicle, like I said, I was for a few weeks, out of rentals. And, it was difficult, but I did find some spots where I could at least sleep overnight without being harassed. And then, where do I groom? For a while, I had a gym membership. I had enough money to get like a cheap gym membership at Planet Fitness. Obviously, I have a shower right now while I'm at the hotel or motel, whatever you call this. And, we have to ask ourselves, like I ask myself, how do I generate income for this? Like, of course, I've gotten donations and some, been able to make some money online here through promotional type stuff, sometimes psychic reading, soul coaching, stuff like that. But it's hard to figure out how to generate income, and yeah, especially since it's not as easy as a lot of people think getting a normal matrix job whenever you're homeless. So yeah, these are things that I've struggled with, the hardest things that I've come across so far, and yeah, it is depressing, even though I've been able to maintain my positive spirit for the most part, I guess, compared to some people, but I still experience the depression and anxiety daily. It is a struggle. So on that note, thank you for your donations. Please do continue to support my work here. I will continue to document this, expose what I find out, my journey, and I'm still going to do other content as well. I'll try to do some more fun content. Obviously, that's a little harder right now going through this, but yeah. Still maintaining my faith and my strength. I've been learning a lot about my resilience throughout this and whatnot, but cheers. Thank you for your support. Hope this is enlightening.